During its entire football history, Bulgaria had always cultivated an image of being a competent national team. They had previously been present in 5 World Cups, but failed to win a single match in any of those runs. But in this chilly night, the 13 Bulgarian men that would step on the field would change their country's football history forever.
Bien frappé, bien frappé!
Attention, attention Kostadinov!
Bulgaria crushed France's dreams of qualifying to a World Cup with a stoppage time goal and booked themselves a trip to the US, where they would complete one of the most thrilling underdog stories of all time. After losing against the African champions in the opening match, the Bulgarians dust themselves off and ripped Greece apart. But despite their best efforts in the previous match, coming into their final bout, a win was mandatory to keep their dream alive. In front of them was Argentina, arguably one of the biggest candidates to win the tournament, and to make their task even harder, Bulgaria spent the last 25 minutes of the match with only 10 men. However, just like it happened with France, no matter how great their opponents were, you simply couldn't break the Bulgarian spirit. Stoichkov and company had done the unthinkable. They carried their country to the knockouts, but the story was far from over. 5 days later, Bulgaria met World Cup veterans Mexico in the round of 16, and after a grueling 120 minutes of play, fate would have it that their destiny would be decided on penalties. And once again, luck continued to be on the Bulgarian side. Less than a week after, Bulgaria would once again play in the Giant Stadium, this time against Germany. In my opinion, it's a perfect name choice for a sports arena that would host Bulgaria's greatest ever game. After being down for the vast majority of the second half, their biggest hero Stoichkov equalized with a perfect free kick, and just a few moments later, Lechkov perfectly headed the ball into goal to give the lead to the Bulgarians. History had been made. The Golden Boys carried their country to the semis, and while they couldn't reach the final nor achieve a bronze medal, their legacy was assured. Or so they thought. I hate to give a negative twist to inspirational stories, but let's be real. You read the title. A full decade had gone by, and Bulgaria could only qualify to 2 international tournaments, the 1998 World Cup and Euro 2004, going out in a group stage with 0 wins in both editions. Something had to be done, and that change came not due to a wish of improving the nation's football, but due to a massive amount of corruption scandals. Ivan Slakov, the football union president, was responsible for building on Bulgaria's 1994 success, was effectively forced out of his role in 2004 after it was proven that he had received bribes to vote for London's 2012 Olympics bid and money that belonged to the federation. While it was an unfortunate event, at the time there was hope things would improve, since the new man in charge was none other than Borislav Mijalov, the iconic captain of Bulgaria's golden generation. But for the next 2 decades, all Borislav could do was completely destroying his reputation. Time and time again, the man showed up drunk to major events, which seems about right considering his executive decisions made as much sense as some nonsense an alcoholic would come up with on a Friday night. First of all, he employed several of his teammates in the federation, completely ignoring the fact that they might not be fit for the job. And the ones who didn't enter directly into the Bulgarian Football Union got themselves leading positions in Bulgarian clubs and, as a consequence, power to influence decisions made by the federation. That could be fine if the Euros from 1994 had the country's best interests in mind, but sadly, the thing they valued the most was how fat their wallets were. You see, Bulgaria once had one of the best youth development systems in the Balkan region, but as time passed, Mijalov started pocketing the money that was supposed to be invested in that department. The final nail in the coffin, though, has to be the decisions made at club level. Bulgarian clubs continuously decide to trust veteran managers with pragmatic approaches that prefer the experienced players over giving chances to young Bulgarians. After all, it's undeniable that from a financial point of view, it's much more effective bringing in foreign players on a low salary than giving chances to young footballers and investing in the infrastructures and personnel for their development. Couple that with a birth decline that severely decreased the country's pool of talent, and it's easy to see why Bulgaria is no longer able to produce quality footballers. The fact of the matter is that football is merely a business to this man, and what better example than Mijalov employing Krasimir Balakov, another member of the golden generation, only for him to call up several players from his former club that was struggling to stay in the first tier of Bulgarian football. To be fair, agents play a big role in many national teams regarding who gets called up and who doesn't, but this is just taking it to another level of extreme. Are the Bulgarian fans supposed to believe that players who can barely avoid relegation can stand up to even the most average national teams in Europe? This situation went on for years, with Bulgaria seemingly getting farther and farther away from qualifying to a major international tournament, until Mihailov's racist antics finally cost him his place. After that infamous encounter with England, where the Bulgarian ultras shouted racist insults to several English players, their sports minister announced that he wouldn't work with the BFU until Mihailov resigned, and so his reign of terror finally came to an end. Except that it didn't. Mihailov couldn't possibly let go of the position that had given him so much power, money and influence, and he somehow won the elections against Dimitar Berbatov, another legend who had exposed the president's manipulative antics. Obviously, this was a hard pill to swallow for most fans, and I can tell you that the people made their voices heard time and time again. Until on the 27th of November 2023, 30 years after he started in goal in that historic match against France, he stepped down from his position. It was time for a new dawn for Bulgarian football. Surely now Berbatov would be elected and end the corruption that plagued football all the way into its grassroots. Except that he wasn't. Georgy Ivanov, the man who stated that no person with skin color other than white will be allowed to play for Bulgaria, became the new president, effectively replacing Mihailov, but guaranteeing that another money-driven imbecile would continue to ruin Bulgarian football for the foreseeable future. To a Bulgarian football fan, there's no happy ending, no bright future ahead, just memories from a glimpse of glory in a distant summer. Which, in a way, is pretty poetic and a mirror to life in one of the poorest countries in Europe. Thank you for watching. If you're curious to learn more about golden generations that fell off the map, you will love this one about the Czech Republic. Once the best attacking side in Europe, now a forgotten powerhouse. Czechia vanished from the football elite, and in that video, I'll explain how they suddenly rose to the top of European football and why they failed to reach the same heights ever since. I'll see you there.